The following is a production of Learfield Sports.
It's football season in Chattanooga, where the Mocs are back-to-back SoCon champions.
We've got tremendous football players in this room.
Caught at the 25, down to the 20, down to the 10, touchdown Chattanooga.
Well, I think the fan support part of it is huge, because our fans are phenomenal.
Wants to throw, and it is picked.
Led by head coach Russ Huesman.
Come out and play with unbelievable energy today. Play with a chip on your shoulder today. You guys belong. Let's roll.
Welcome to Inside Chattanooga Football, hosted by head coach Russ Huesman and the voice of the Chattanooga Mocs, Jim Reynolds. Brought to you by Allegra, 24-hour relief from indoor and outdoor allergies. By Coca-Cola, Chattanooga Coca-Cola Bottling Company, the world's largest Coca-Cola bottler. By FSG Bank, proud to be the official bank of Chattanooga Mocs Athletics.
Welcome to our first edition of Inside Chattanooga Football for the 2015 season. I'm Jim Reynolds, and on the program we're going to preview the upcoming season for the Mocs. Big game in the opening game of the year when UTC will take on nationally ranked Jacksonville State. In the preseason polls, Mocs are ranked number 8. Jacksonville State number 9. What a great way to begin the season. On the program, we're going to talk Mocs offense with offensive coordinator Jeff Durden. We're going to talk defense with defensive coordinator Adam Brathwaite. We'll talk with the head coach of the Mocs, Russ Huesman, and also preview all the Olympic sports that are going on this fall as well. So a lot going on. Sit back, take a look at Mocs football. Inside Chattanooga Football returns in just a moment.
We celebrate you, loyal UTC fans, who brave sunburn and parking game after game. You super fans who live, eat, and breathe your UTC sports. And you, family of fanatics, passing down your game day traditions. No matter who you are, Mighty Mocs, FSG has you covered. Get the exclusive Power C debit card and show your UTC pride. Together, we'll ride the rails to victory. FSG Bank is proud to be the official bank of UTC Athletics.
This segment of Inside Chattanooga Football is brought to you by Allegra, 24-hour relief from indoor and outdoor allergies.
Well, you want to get off to a good start. I think that's really important for us, and you know, same thing, you have to learn from the past, and if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always gotten. And in openers, my last 2 years, we haven't been very good here. So I'd love to get off to a great start, and I think it would make things a lot easier. And we've got a quality opponent that we're playing, much like last year. We just got to be ready to play. And my message to these guys is let's go out and be as good as we can be, and the rest of it will take care of itself. So we're really trying to exploit our talents. We're finding out what we do best, and we've got to be good. That moment that we get to perform, we've got to be good in that moment. So getting off to a good start is key. The guys that have been a little bit better as a position group than I thought we would be at this point are the wide receivers. They just had a tremendous camp. We've caught the deep ball well. Our catch and carry is where we want it to be. You know, blocking really well on the perimeter. So I probably wasn't expecting the big three to be that good. Well, we had to have a freshman running back step in and play, and Alex Trotter and Kyle Knowles have both been productive in camp. They're learning the value of the ball and how important it is to us and how to secure it. And we're very multiple on offense, so it's been a challenge for them to pick up the terminology and get lined up at the pace we like to play at. But fundamentally, they're getting to where they need to get. And I think once we kind of dial in and give them a specific role, they both have a chance to play as freshmen in this offense. Can't ask for anything else than to have a fifth-year senior at quarterback that's been the two-time Southern Conference Player of the Year. He's just a tremendous person, first of all. He's a great leader. He's not a tremendously vocal guy, but he leads by example. And, you know, I think being around Peyton Manning this summer helped him a little bit. You know, how do you improve a guy that's been the two-time champion? And I think maybe some leadership skills and learning how to step up and it being okay to say something when somebody busts her out or challenge guys. So I think he's been a little bit more motivational speaker for our group this year. He can definitely improve in some areas. You know, last year the key was the long ball. So now we're working on accuracy a little bit more. His footwork's tremendous. I think he's gained a step. We're a little bit faster than we were last year. And man, he looks good. He looks like a linebacker. So as far as getting bigger, faster, and stronger, I think we've done those things. Our offensive line should be the strength of our football team. We've got a year of experience. You know, we started 3 redshirt freshmen last year and a defensive lineman in the first ball game that had been converted to offense. But with a year under our belt, a transfer coming in and getting St. John Herron back, it really makes me think we can be pretty dynamic up front as well, you know. And when I say that word, it's okay to be special up front. You know, we have the ability to mash our opponent. We can pass protect, and run blocking that's who we are. You know, we're an attitude outfit, and we're blue collar, and I just really like what I'm seeing up there. And you know, we've got 20 practices under our belt right now with 8 or 9 more. You know, we'll lean on those guys early in the season, and they'll have to be good.
The Learfield Sports Directors Cup honors the nation's best overall collegiate athletic program in each division, men's and women's sports. The prestigious award continues its reign as the crowning achievement in college athletics. To follow your favorite team, like us on Facebook. Find us in USA Today, online, and on Twitter at LS Directors Cup. Over 2 decades of excellence, the Learfield Sports Directors Cup.
This segment of Inside Chattanooga Football is brought to you by FSG Bank, proud to be the official bank of Chattanooga Mocs Athletics.
Obviously, the energy level is going to be extremely high when you first start camp, and what I loved about our preseason was that energy, the effort, the discipline, the competitiveness, and the confidence really, I think, shine bright throughout. From the beginning, from day one, they have stepped onto the court, I think, with a different sense of confidence than a lot of freshman classes come in together, and newcomers for that matter. But the freshmen overall, in addition to Madison, our transfer, have really I think, upped our level of intensity and competitiveness and confidence. I'm especially excited and really proud of our 5 seniors. Those 5 student athletes were our first true full recruiting class since I got here. So to see their growth and their improvement, that's just been special for me as a coach to see. We hired Darren Van Horn. He's really hit the ground running. You know, he got here in late July, was in Chattanooga for less than 24 hours, and immediately met me on the road recruiting, coming from 2 programs in University of Virginia and also Penn State. He's learned a lot. He's been around very high-level volleyball. Chattanooga volleyball has always we've hung our hat a little bit more on the defensive side of the ball than the offensive side of the ball, and I think that this year is where our offense really flourishes and really becomes a great strength of ours. So defense is still going to be a strength. When we are in our defensive system, I think that we can become a team, and we are a team that is can be very challenging to score on because of the discipline that we are, I think, playing defense with.
Fall camp went well. The girls worked hard. I think it showed within our first match there against Austin P. Debut for Katie Emig there, and I thought she was solid. Katie's somebody, we like her experience in the goal, and she makes all the saves she needs to, and she even pulls off some very, very good stops as well. The back four's got kind of a mix going on. We've got Ashley Simmons, who played center back for us in the spring, so she got some experience there, and she's been quite solid. Hannah Wyatt, who's been kind of, I don't want to say forced to play back there, she's willingly playing back there. And then we've had two freshmen kind of on the edges for us there, Macy Fox and Shelby Williams, both playing as fullbacks for us. The midfield group has been good for us so far. Emily Mosley playing as a holding center mid for us, and Rachel Giampapa and Rachel Lindsay came into the game for us, and Abby Linder, Claire Latham, Skylar Brewer started for us there in our first match on Sunday. Yeah, up front, so been playing a mix of players there as well. So Sam Hogan has done very well for us there. Mackenzie Gregg is a player that's improved a lot. Rachel Giampapa can play up front. Lauren Queen is a player who can also play there. Peyton McCollum is someone who we're going to be looking forward to be a threat for us all year long. Martin's been excellent. He's even keel, so he's never too high, he's never too low, which is great because sometimes I can be the opposite. So he's going to kind of balance me really, really well, I feel. We're hopefully going to turn this program around, and we're going to take it in the right direction over the next several years here, you know. So we're confident in this group. We know we're going to be in a battle each and every time we play, but we think if they're prepared, which they are, we're going to go in the right direction this season. There's no reason why we can't be in games and hopefully battling out to grind results, you know. So.
After last year, we were not picked quite as high and finished second behind a strong Furman team, which is going to be very tough to beat. But we only lost Amanda Carter, who now is my assistant coach, and everybody else is back, along with Tegan Henderson, who is an All-American, and Rebecca Greenwald, who's a defending all-conference performer, and you add Madison Malchioni, and you add Jessica York, and then you add Anna Kate Chance, who set out last year, who had a great track season, and then Hannah Chamberlain had a tremendous track season. So I'm really excited about this year. I really believe that we're as good as we've been in a long time, and we're really excited. There could be a special season for us, and things have changed at Chattanooga. Our men's program is somewhat starting over. We have Paul Stewart, who redshirted last year. He is the only returning member from last year's squad, which he did not run last year. Two other young men decided to stay on, Austin Etheridge and Austin Casasa, and Zach Darby. We're optimistic, to say the least, but they're great kids, they're great students, they fit our mold, they're just young, and you know, there's a lot of transition going on in our program right now, and it's going to be an exciting season both ways, and so maybe our women's the yin to our men's yang.
It's time for the Student Athlete Spotlight, brought to you by Southeast Bank.
It's a much more enjoyable experience, rather than just being off over to the side and doing kind of little drills and stuff that at the time they seem kind of pointless. I mean, I know that they help and all, but being back with all the guys and stuff makes you feel more of the team and everything like that. It was a long, drawn-out process. In spring, I wasn't really cleared to do too much, and then summer finally rolled around and they gave me the 100% clearance, and it's been all downhill from there. I mean, we've been out here, most of the guys were here all summer, been through camp and everything, just getting better personally and as a group. I mean, as offensive line, we all got to play together and everything.
We celebrate you, loyal UTC fans, who brave sunburn and parking game after game. You super fans who live, eat, and breathe your UTC sports. And you, family of fanatics, passing down your game day traditions. No matter who you are, Mighty Mocs, FSG has you covered. Get the exclusive Power C debit card and show your UTC pride. Together, we'll ride the rails to victory. FSG Bank is proud to be the official bank of UTC Athletics.
This segment of Inside Chattanooga Football is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Chattanooga Coca-Cola Bottling Company, the world's largest Coca-Cola bottler.
I'd say we're probably pretty par for the course as far as coming out of summer camp and a little over a week now from kicking off the game. I know we've improved. I think we've kind of developed a mentality of toughness, a mentality of playing hard, and those are the things you're trying to do during camp. Not only have specific individuals get better and their group improve as a whole, but kind of develop your identity as a defense on what's going to show up on tape in terms of your effort and physicality and things of that nature. So I'm pretty pleased with where we are right now. I know it's getting to be that time where we're starting to prepare for our first game and kind of a change of pace in terms of going against our offense, which is always a welcome time of the year. It's a group that I think has some talent. And it's a group that works pretty hard, and I think it's really important to them to be good. So we have good kids that work hard and they try to become better players. I think D Virgin, he's had a really good camp as well. He doesn't always get challenged sometimes when it comes to team situations and live situations, but he's a guy that had a great summer, probably his best off-season since he's been here at Chattanooga. He's playing very well. Physically he's talented, but he's starting to kind of elevate his game from a mental standpoint as well. So that's encouraging to see. Well, again, I think, the headliner there to me would be you got Nakevian Leslie back, as a guy who is an all-conference player. He's moved into our Mike position this year, and he's a smart kid and a talented kid. And I think, that's kind of the perfect combination of what you're looking for at that position. I think AJ is going to have a really good year. He's a talented kid, and he's getting his first opportunity to be the guy in there and not just be a rotation guy. And like I said, he's really bought into it, and there's something about a senior that's getting his last shot to go around. I think you win with seniors, and so I'm pleased with him. He got voted as a captain from his teammates, so that shows you what type of work he's had this offseason. Yeah, you talk about Lott and Davis Tull. You also, most people forget to mention Zach Rail and Danny Ring, who were starters last year, and so you got 4 really good football players that are gone from that group. And the answer, you don't really ever replace a player, but you have to fill roles, and everybody brings their own strengths to the game that maybe some of the older guys couldn't bring. So, we feel you have Josh Freeman, who started a bunch of football games here, who's a good football player. Keontae Davis, who's played a bunch of football here for us, who's a good football player. Toyvian Brand, who started a lot of football games here for us. So you got 3 guys there that with starting experience, and then you throw into the mix Vantrell McMillan, Taylor Reynolds, and Isaiah Mack. You got 3 less experienced guys that are real talented, that have worked hard and improved themselves. Well, the first game, butterflies and jitters and all that, just of that uneasy feeling of just how are you going to respond when the lights go on. I think this year's team is, every year you can look at it and say you're young at one spot, you're old at one spot. This year's no different. We've got a lot of guys that have played a lot of football at certain spots, and then we have a few spots where, we have some newer guys into the lineup. So just kind of the anticipation of seeing how they're going to respond, when it counts. And, obviously, whenever you're playing an offense, they get to do whatever they want. And so you have an idea what you think an offense is going to present to you in the first week, but they could come out and run something completely different, and you got to be able to adjust to it as a defense. So those are all the things that come with, kind of first game anticipation.
Welcome back to Inside Chattanooga Football. I'm Jim Reynolds, along with the head football coach of the Chattanooga Mocs, Russ Huesman, and we've done this before. Take me back, go into the locker room at New Hampshire in the final game, post-game of last year. What do you say? And I'm sure even at that point, you're starting to think about this coming season, the 2015 season.
Well, you start by that locker room, a lot of tears, mostly mine, but the players too. It was tough. I know they hurt. They felt like we could win that game. We didn't get it done. Hopefully, at that point on, anybody that was returning this year made a decision that they were going to get better, that we wouldn't let that happen again. So, obviously, a really nice year for us last year, but I don't think the guys are satisfied.
They feel like they coulda, I don't know, shoulda, but certainly could have taken one more step, and then everything gets bigger and bigger and bigger, those steps you take in the postseason.
Right, and I think they felt like could have. I don't know if it should have, because I think we got beat, and we got beat fair and square by New Hampshire, who's a great football team, by the way. But I think they thought we could have won that game. We played well enough on offense and I think defensively, but just not in the kicking game like we're capable of playing. And when you get to that point in the season, you better be on top of all three phases.
And you used that locker room to talk to your players returning for this coming season, right?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it immediately when we got back together to start winter workouts. We spoke about that. We talked about complacency. You know, you could go a couple ways. You could feel proud of yourself, pat yourself on the back for the next 6 months and not work, or you can be a little upset about it and move forward and make yourself better so that doesn't happen again. But it's a long football season, and for us to be sitting in a locker room quarterfinals is a long way away.
There is a fine line, though, right, in the fact that you guys did have a good year. You did have a fun year. You were undefeated in the league and accomplished some things this school never accomplished. You don't want to erase that and say everything's negative because we didn't do that. So you want them to enjoy what they did accomplish, but understand that there's more out there.
Well, you know, every team's upset except for the team that wins the national championship. So everybody ends on a bad note in the same way, you know, all the way across the country. So nobody was really happy other than North Dakota State last year. But you hope they learn from that. You hope they like the feeling of going to the playoff. You hope they like that. You hope the competition and going to New Hampshire and playing a game, an important game on national television. You hope our guys like that and they think about, hey, I want to go back and do that again. It was pretty cool.
When you think about teams, there are a lot more teams watching than were playing that weekend. Am I right?
Well, there were only 8 playing at that point in time. And but like I said, I mean, you got to be pretty much on top of your game. I mean, when you get to the final 8, they're all really good teams, and you better be good, and you better be on point, you better be working hard, and you know, and like I said, the kicking game hurt us a little bit in that game. We couldn't flip field position. If we could have flipped it a little bit, you know, it might have turned out a little different.
All right, you have a team that's been around a little while that returns this year, and you talked about complacency. You and I both heard the term senioritis and probably went through it when I was a senior anyway. That those upper-class guys, they seem like guys that are vocal, that are more inclined to say, by gosh, let's take a couple more steps, than to say, let's rest on our laurels.
Well, you don't see senioritis as much because I think the seniors and the upperclassmen know that it's winding down for them, and they want to do something special. I think that what you got to be worried about is somebody that had a real good year as a young kid, and you get to sophomore-itis, is what I'm more concerned about, the second-year-itis. And you hope those guys continue to get better and don't think they've arrived, because they do have to get better. But I'd say, you know, our upperclassmen, the Jacob Huesmans, Keontae Davis, Josh Freemans, A.J. Hamptons, you know, all those guys, Nikivian Leslie, they're excited about playing, and they know it's winding down.
And the other part of it is you have some young guys. You're talking about Knowles and Trotter and some of those guys, brand new, maybe a little wide-eyed, maybe not, maybe more experienced than we give them credit for. They're going to have to make some contributions as well, not just those two, but others as well.
Well, the true freshmen, obviously, they're going to play this year, both those guys. They'll probably be the only 2 true freshmen that we play this year. But you're looking at guys like Isaiah Mack at defensive tackle, who's going to get a ton of snaps, Montrell Pardue, who's a redshirt freshman. We redshirted last year. Some of those receivers, Will Young. There's a group of 6 or 7 that we need to step up. Maybe not have to have them be superstars like Lucas Webb last year stepped up and had a great year, but they have to be solid. They have to help us win games, and those are the ones that you point to. I mean, the freshmen, we'll see what we get. You know, it's scary when you play a freshman, but you know, I think it's the redshirt guys that are really now becoming big factors in the offense-defense kicking game that they gotta step up.
Obviously a big game start of the season. Jacksonville State, a good team. How important would a nice home crowd be?
It's huge. You know, what it does for our team in the home field advantage is so important. Not only how loud they are, how they affect Jacksonville State's team, but how they affect our team and the excitement level that they bring our football team to see a great crowd out there. So it's going to be important, and I hope we get our best crowd we've ever had since I've been here.
Should be a good one. Good rivalry between the OVC and the Southern Conference. Mocs and Jacksonville State. Gamecocks ranked number 9. Mocs number 8 in the country. Again, a 6 o'clock kickoff at Finley Stadium on Saturday. You can get all the information if you want tickets at GoMocs.com. Next week, we'll have highlights of the Mocs game with Jacksonville State and a preview of all the Olympic sports as well, and preparation for this game between the Mocs and Gamecocks. That's next week on Inside Chattanooga Football.
Inside Chattanooga Football has been brought to you by Allegra, 24-hour relief from indoor and outdoor allergies. By Coca-Cola, Chattanooga Coca-Cola Bottling Company, the world's largest Coca-Cola bottler. By FSG Bank, proud to be the official bank of Chattanooga Mocs Athletics.